Okay, so we just got back from Paraguay and we gotta talk about it. Make sure that if this is a place that you would like to go to, that your Spanish is up. Because the only thing that they speak is Spanish and Guarani. It also took us like 10 hours in the air to get there. So we used Copa Airlines and we went from New York to Panama and then Panama to Paraguay, which was 5 hours, 5 hours. Also, fun fact about Copa Airlines is that you can do a stayover in Panama. So if we really wanted to, we could pay for two trips in one for like the one price. So you would go to Panama for your layover, but you could pick to stay in Panama for a week, 2 days, 1 day, but then you could still go to your final destination. And so some fun facts about Paraguay. So one of the fun facts that I noticed is that in their empanadas, they use eggs. So that is something that I haven't seen before. I've seen empanadas with like different varying types. Like in Colombia, I believe they put potato, but in Paraguay, they put eggs in their empanadas. So some popular foods that they have there is bori bori, chipawasu, sopa, and so their sopa is not liquid, it's actually hard. And to kind of make it relatable, it's kind of like cornbread, but like their own type of cornbread. Their weather is also a little bit different than the United States, actually completely. When it's summer here, it's winter there, and vice versa. But then also when it's spring here, it's fall there. So we went in May, and honestly, it was pretty chilly. So I would recommend what they told us is that when it's cold, and when it's hot, it is hot. So if prepare accordingly, depending on the time of year that you're going. And I did a whole separate video on this, but I want to touch on it again. They do have this thing called mate and tereré. Mate is when it is cold outside and the body wants to be warmed up. So they have like this um, like herbal stuff that they put into a wampa, and they use like the water bottle to fill up hot water. So it's to make sure that the body is staying warm. But this is different than tereré, because tereré is when it's hot outside and you want to cool the body. So you put there's different herbs that you could put in there, and it's like labeled and it's everywhere in the country. But there's specific ones for tereré as well. But you put the herbs in the wampa, and then but instead of hot water, you're gonna be putting cold water. And it's interesting because you kind of pass the wampa around with the water and everyone like takes their turn. So someone would drink first and then they would pass it to me, then they would pass it to my husband, and it's kind of like you're just passing it around and everyone is drinking from the wampa. And Paraguay is known for loving their carne and mandayuca. Here in the United States and maybe other places, it's just yuca, but they absolutely love it, and it's with basically every meal. It's in different forms though. So the carne can come in different forms. It's not just like a straight steak every single day or with every single plate. It could be like, so like for example, they have milanesa, which is basically a cutlet, but usually I feel like it's chicken cutlet, but there is beef cutlet. Or like their empanadas, a lot of it is beef empanadas. Or it's just so much stuff that just carne is with every single meal. Something that's also very interesting to me is that the bathrooms that they have the cushion on, like when you sit down still. Like I remember that when I was like younger, but like that is everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And if you're specifically coming from the United States, it's going to be cheap there. There's a lot of things. I mean, there's some places that were a little pricey, but for the most part, it's going to be cheap. I had like um, I believe I had a huge mojito, and I had it for like $3, which I'm still surprised about. So it's going to be cheap. Also, you're going to see a lot of animals. And when I say animals, I mean of all different sorts. So like we saw a lot of dogs just like that had owners and also some that just didn't have owners. And then you also can see a lot of cats, but also big animals like cows, goats, sheep, pigs, horses. Like they literally had so many animals. And that also includes like cows just walking across the street. We were driving and a cow just walked across the street. And another time we were just driving and a horse just walked across the street. So they're like everywhere. There's also a lot of chicken, but the chicken, a lot of the times, I mean, I guess like the other animals, they're gonna eat them. Like they're very much a carnivore country. And so they told me to take my memories now because one of the chicken will not be there tomorrow. And I thought that was a joke, but that was not. We ate one of my friends for dinner one day. So those are the main things I can think of right now that stood out to me, was different to me, was interesting to me. But let me know if you want to know anything more about Paraguay because my husband is from there and I can do more facts if you would like. But that was my experience for the first time in Paraguay.